guys, Heathway here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my 3 favourite players per position on FIFA 19 for high, medium and low budgets. So hopefully, regardless of how many coins you have, you'll be able to find some really meta and overpowered players that could fit into your team if you're looking for a really good player in a certain position. Now of course I haven't used every single player on FIFA 19, and I'm also not going to be including really high end cards like the Team of the Years, because obviously it's self-explanatory. They're Team of the Year cards, they're the best players on the game, and I think in pretty much every case they're the best player in their position, so that's pretty obvious. I'm going to be showing you guys maybe some hidden gems that you haven't really used this year, a variety of different players, so if you guys do enjoy, leave a like if you do, and let me know down below your 3 favourite players in each position on the game. This is just my personal opinion, so let me know any players that you really like down below in the comments, and if you want to see maybe some more videos like this in the future, maybe with some cheaper options or something like that, then just let me know in the comments. And without further ado, let's go on into it. Starting off in goal, the cheap option I've gone with is Szczesny, who you can pick up for around 2,000 or 3,000 coins and has a really nice well-rounded card. The main thing that stands out for him is his height, and for me that's the be-all and end-all when it comes to keepers on this game. They need to be tall because times finesse shots are so OP, and tall keepers typically do a lot better against them. The fact that he's 6'5" is very useful. You can also link him into the likes of Benatia, Koulibaly and Manolas, who in turn link into the likes of Alexandro and João Cancelo, so he's a very easy keeper to link inside, very cheap, very good, and he's also got 2 relatively inexpensive informs you can upgrade to. In a number 2, I've gone with Farman. This is his road to the final card. He also has an 85 rated inform. They're both around 20 to 30k. They have really nice stats, and the main standout thing again with him is his height. He is 6'6", which means he deals with timed finesse shots very well. He's also got amazing reflexes, so he makes saves that very few other keepers on the game would make. And playing in the Bundesliga, you can link him into a lot of good defenders. But finally, we've got Thibaut Courtois, who is, in my opinion, and hands down the best keeper on the game, even better than Team of the Year De Gea, and considerably cheaper at about 60 or 70k. The reason he's so good is because he's very tall, 6'6", which is amazing. That's 2 inches taller than De Gea, and he's got insane handling as well. So he very rarely spills shots. He always just catches it and keeps it close. He doesn't spill shots, so you don't concede many rebounds, and he's just by far and away the best shot stopper I've used on this game. He makes saves that no other keeper would make. He's also got the giant throw trait, which is very useful, so he can launch the ball really far forwards on your counter attacks. The only downside to him is his kicking isn't the best. De Gea has that over him, but I think in terms of out and out kind of stopping you conceding goals, Courtois is the best option you can go with. I'd say for honourable mentions, the cheap options, you've got someone like Neto, who's very good. Ederson's also good in that kind of mid-range, and then De Gea for your top price. So I think De Gea and Courtois are fairly comparable. I just have a little bit more of a preference towards Courtois, but let's say you're using a Premier League team, of course go ahead and use De Gea. Moving on to the centre-back position, the cheap option I've gone with is Kostas Manolas, so you can pick up for around 10 to 12,000 coins, and has over 80 for pace, defending and physical, which is a very rare trio to find for a defender. For the price, you really won't find anyone better, and he's got some great links as well into the likes of Florenzi, Benatia and Szczesny, who I've already mentioned. Next up, we've got Raphael Varane, who I think in terms of value for money is the best defender on the game. He is insane in game. I picked him up for about 250k towards the beginning of the game. I've probably played about 400 or 500 games with him now. He's down at about 120k, and for that price, you really will not find a better defender on this game. He has got an end game card. You could fit him into a really elite team with icons and very expensive players, and he would still stand out as one of the best players in your team. All round, his card is amazing. Put a Shadow Anchor Camera style on there, and it will naturally get even better. And if you want to go that extra step, you can of course get his Team of the Year card for about 1.5 million, which is probably the best defender on the game. But as I said, I didn't want to include Team of the Year cards because they are obviously going to be amazing. We're going to finish off with Rio Ferdinand, who I think is maybe just got a slight edge on Varane compared to his normal card. Obviously, if you want to get his Team of the Year, you can, which I think is a little bit more expensive than Ferdinand. You've also got Maldini, who's up there. He's also very expensive, but I have used Ferdinand. I've not used Maldini, but Ferdinand is amazing in game. His card is very similar to Varane, but he's a little bit stronger, which I like, and he's got the better defensive stats too. But they do feel fairly similar in game. I think he just has a slight edge, but of course you've got a Team of the Year Varane, which is even better. I think in terms of honourable mentions, you've got Davinson Sanchez as a cheap option. You can get him for about 10k. He's a great Premier League defender. For a slightly more expensive one, you've got Boateng, who's also really good. Van Dijk and Ramos in that mid-range tier are insane as well. Van Dijk is pretty similar to Varane. He's just a lot slower, but he is stronger. And if you're looking for a Premier League defender, look no further. And Ramos is amazing as well. You can link him into Varane. He's a little bit slower. He has more attacking work rates though, and he's only 6 foot, which is a bit of a downside. And then at that high end, as I've already mentioned, you've got Maldini, who's amazing. Also, Sol Campbell. I think the best version of him is his 85. That is actually insane. He has like 85 pace. He's got good defending and physical as well. He's very, very good. And then you've got like obviously the team of the year, Van Dijk, Ramos, and Varane are all amazing. Now on the left hand side of defence, the cheap option I've gone with is Benjamin Mendy, who you can pick up for just 2k, and he's got a great League and Nation combo, really nice well-rounded stats both defensively and going forwards. He's tall, strong and quick, and if you put an anchor or shadow camera style on him, you've got yourself an absolute beast. In the middle I've gone with Alexandro, who for just 40k is in my opinion the best left back in terms of value for money on this game. He's amazing both defensively and going forwards. He's like Mendy but on steroids with kind of like +5 or 6 in most of his stats, and I actually prefer him to Marcelo. He's half the price and he's much better defensively. He's taller, he's got better defensive stats, and he's got much better work rates as well, and you can link him into so many good players in the Serie A. But the best left back on the game in my opinion, and this is including icons as well, is Ferland Mendy. So we've actually got 2 Mendys, 2 French left backs in here, but this is a new card. I haven't played many games with him so far, but I've recently brought him in for Alexandro, and he is so good in game. So from what I've used of him so far, I absolutely love him. He's about 250k. It is one of the new Future Stars cards. I think he'll probably kind of keep around this kind of price and probably rise in the future because of how good he is. But if you look at the stats, he's got 94 pace. He's got amazing defensive stats as well. He's very strong. He's got really good stamina. Going forwards, he's got 4-star skills, good dribbling, good shooting, good passing. All round, he's just amazing. He's also got high medium work rates, which is perfect for a fullback. He's relatively tall, I believe he's 5'11", and if you compare him to team of the year Marcelo, he's a lot quicker. He's got much better work rates because Marcelo has high-low, which really isn't what you want for a fullback, so he's always going to be out of position, and he's also a little bit taller, so he could even be better than team of the year Marcelo. I'm not sure, I haven't used Marcelo yet, but he does have an amazing card, and for that price you can link him into the likes of Varane and some of the other players you're going to see in just a moment in the midfield. So for that kind of price, I really would recommend trying him out. He is insane. If you can afford him, go and pick him up. Now moving over onto the right hand side of defence, I've gone with some fairly expensive options here, but don't worry, if you can't quite afford them, I've got some cheaper options I'll let you guys know about in just a moment. First up is Kyle Walker, who you can get for about 35 to 40k. He's got really good pace, good defending and physical, and is pretty good going forwards as well. In the Premier League, he's your best option in this position. As my mid-tier option, I've got Lala. This is his third inform, which is about 180k. He's got 2 others, of course, and you can get the second inform, which has fairly similar stats, for about 50k, which really isn't that bad. Being French, you can link him into Varane, who is, as I've already mentioned, one of the best defenders on the game. You've got the likes of Mbappe, Pogba and Kante as well, all of whom are very meta players, and he's just got such a nice well-rounded card, over 80 in every stat apart from shooting, which is very nice. I'd say he's probably the best right back on the game in terms of value for money. If you want a slightly better option, you can go with Alexander-Arnold's Future Stars card. It's about 550k though. Yes, he's a little bit quicker. He's got much better shooting and passing and fairly similar defensive stats. So he is a little bit better, but he is way more coins. He's over twice the price, and 550k is so much for a fullback. I doubt many of you could justify spending that much on a player in this position, but he gets a strong link into Van Dijk, strong link into Salah as well, and Fabinho. So many really good players on this game. So if you do have the coins and you want the very best option in this position, go with Alexander-Arnold. Although Lala is a great option as well, and he's definitely a player that you can use like at the very highest level in FUT Champions. In terms of cheaper options, you've got Valencia, who's really good for about 10k in the Premier League. Florenzi's great as well, as is Cancelo, and he's got a couple of informs too that are really good. You've also got lots of SBC cards. Flashback, Juanfran and Dani Alves are also both really good options. I see a lot of pros using Cancelo actually as well. I think he's fairly expensive though. He's got an 86 and 84 rated inform. So if you're looking for another really elite option, if you have a different kind of team, then Cancelo is definitely one to go with. Now moving up into the midfield, we're going to start off defensively with the CDMs, and Fabinho is the cheap option I've gone with. He's about 30k right now. I think at this stage of the game that's fairly cheap for the type of play you're getting, although we'll cover some cheaper options in just a moment. Defensively, he's very good. He's tall, strong, and he's got some decent stats. All round kind of for a defensive midfielder, he's quite good on the ball, his passing's decent. Going forwards, he won't really do much for you, so you want him to just sit back and he'll break up the play very effectively. And although his card stats aren't amazing, he does play a lot better than that in game, especially if you put a shadow or anchor camera style on him to boost that pace up. We've then got Kante, who's kind of like an upgraded version of Fabinho. He is better, But I don't know if he is worth that many coins more than Fabinho. I think he's like 300k and Fabinho is about 30. So unless you have a lot of coins, I'd recommend just sticking with Fabinho. I personally use Kante because I have him as an untradeable. I think the only real thing that stands out is his pace. They're pretty much the same going forwards. Neither of them are that good in that area. And then defensively, Fabinho is taller, which is always good. Kante's a little bit better defensively. They're both really, really good. So if you just partner them up together, you've got yourself a very, very good midfield. But I'd say Kante is probably the second best defensive midfielder on the game. His team of the year, I'd say, is the best, but that's fairly obvious if you look at the stats he's got. But the best one I've gone with here is going to be Vieira. I think this is another one kind of like Kante, a bit out of the majority of FIFA players' price ranges. He's about 3 million coins, I think, for the prime, but you can, of course, go with any of Vieira's cards. I think the cheapest is about 1.2 to 1.5 million. And icons just play better than their stats. Icons are so overpowered in game. So he's very tall, very strong. Of course, links to everyone, which is always good. So I think if you can afford it, go with one of the Vieiras or maybe Team of the Year Kante. But if not, obviously you've got a lot of cheaper options. Kante kind of has that mid-range option. Fabinho, much cheaper, and then someone like Matuidi is really good if you're on an even lower budget. He's about 15k. And moving slightly further up into the centre mid position, the cheap player I've gone with is Leon Goretzka, who you can get for about 2k, and he's got a really nice, well-rounded card. He's got 83 pace, which is great for a centre mid, and he's also 6'2". You can play him in the centre mid role, or even as a CDM with a Sentinel camera style applied, and he gets a good link into the likes of Boateng and Alaba. If you do that, you've got yourself a nice trio, all on good chemistry, and he also has a once to watch and a Champions League card that you can upgrade to. We've then got Paul Pogba as the mid-tier option. He's quite expensive for a mid-tier player, about 250 to 300k, but he's insanely good and can play anywhere from CDM up to attacking midfield. I've played him in all those positions. I think he suits centre mid best, but I play him as a CDM next to Kante in a 4-2-3-1 with a shadow camera style applied. It boosts that defending up. He's just so good. He's got very, very good height. He's 6'3", I believe. He's really strong. He's got 5-star skills. His long shots are amazing as well. Just try and boost the pace up. You can use a Shadow, Hunter or Catalyst. Depending where you play him, if you put him as a cam, maybe go with a Hunter, and then I'll probably go with a Shadow in any other role you want to play him in. And obviously you can link him to Kante with a strong link. You've got all the French players like Lala and Varane, who he also links into. So a really, really good option there. And I think in terms of value for money is probably like the go-to option I'd want. He's a very, very meta player who can fit into like an end game team, but isn't super expensive. But as the ultimate kind of sentiment you want, I've gone with Ruud Gullit. He's like 5 million coins though, which is insane. But he does have over 90 in 3 of his stats. He's got 5-star weak foot, I believe, as well. He's like 6'3". He just has an amazing card and obviously links into everyone as well. He obviously has other versions which you can go with, which are quite a little bit cheaper. But I think if money were no object, I'd go with Ruud Gullit. You obviously have Team of the Year Modric as well, who I think has over 90 in every single stat, which is crazy. But for some reason, I don't see many people using him. I really don't know why, because he does have an amazing card. I haven't used him personally, but given the stats, I reckon he's probably an amazing player to go with, and I think he's quite a bit cheaper than Gullit as well. You obviously got other icons, someone like Ballack or Mateus. They're also very, very nice ones if you have a lot of coins. And then on a lower budget, someone like Fred's good. I used him at the beginning of the game. You've got Nainggolan as well, who's a decent kind of well-rounded option there. But overall, I think these would be my top 3 for different budgets. Now moving ever so slightly further up into the midfield, we've got attacking midfielders, and the cheap option I've gone with is Roberto Firmino, who will set you back about 25k right now, and at this stage of the game that is fairly cheap. He's got a really nice well-rounded card for an attacking midfielder. If you put a Hunter camera style on him, it will really boost that pace up and make him even better. And what I really like about him is he's got good physical, which is quite a rare attribute to find for attacking midfielders on this game. Moving a little bit further up, we've then got De Bruyne. He will set you back quite a lot more. He's about 250k, I believe, right now, but he is the best non-icon or non-special card attacking midfielder, I think, on this game, at least from different cards I've used. I use his Footmas card, which is amazing in game. He's probably got the best long shots and time to finesse shots I've used. First time shots are amazing with him, like literally just pass the ball to him, hit it first time. 9 times out of 10 it seems to go into the back of the net. So not only is his shooting amazing, he's also got great passing, good physical like Firmino, which is always good, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, good dribbling, good pace, all in all a very, very good player. But if money were no option, like with the last option where I went with Gullit, I'd probably go with Cruyff or Team of the Year Messi. Team of the Year Messi seems to be a player a lot of pros are using right now. Gold Messi is a really good option as an attacking midfielder. The only issue with him is that he seems to get tired around the 70th minute because he has quite weak stamina. It's only like 75, which isn't that good. But I'd probably go with De Bruyne unless I had literally like tens of millions of coins, which I don't. So I personally just go with De Bruyne in my team. But as I said, if money were no option, go with someone like Cruyff. Maybe Eusebio is another really good one. You've got Messi too. And then slightly lower down, you've got Dybala and Eriksen, who are quite good, but I'd go with De Bruyne over them, and then Mertens as a slightly cheaper option. Now moving out wide onto the wing, we're going to start off on the left-hand side with Quincy Promes. He's about 2k right now. He's got a really nice card, 90 pace, 5-star skills, good shooting and dribbling, and for the price, very, very good option. You can link him in someone like Ben Yedder, and I used him a lot at the beginning of the game. Then as a mid-tier option, I've gone with Neymar, who is very expensive for a mid-tier player, but I'll cover some cheaper options in a moment. I think that price is justified though. He's like 500k, but he is so good. He really is one of the best players on the game. His Team of the Year card is apparently the best player on the game. I've seen so many people hyping that up. He's also got a few other special cards, including one as an attacking midfielder. But all round his stats are amazing. 5-star skills, 5-star weak foot, really good pace and dribbling, good shooting and passing as well. But then the best player, I think apart from Team of the Year Neymar, I'd probably go with the 90 rated version of Stoichkov. So it's the mid-tier one between the baby and the prime. He's about 1 million coins, but his stats are amazing, and he has a set of attributes that is pretty much unheard of. Like, there are very few other players on this game that have such good pace and also such good physical, and then amazing shooting and dribbling as well, and good passing. All round, it's an amazing card. Like, he's got 390 stats, which is crazy. So a very, very good player there. You've also got Nedved, who is fairly similar. He's a little bit weaker and has worse shooting, but he's got 5-star weak foot, which is really good. And he's also got 3 versions in that position. So you can go up to, like, I think about 1.2 million to get his second version. Stoichkov has 2 striker cards and then 1 left wing version. And then a little bit lower down, you've got the likes of Son. I think he's got an inform. You've got Martial, who's also got an inform. You've got Douglas Costa as well, who's quite good. Leroy Sané is good, so they're all some good cheaper options if you want to go with some of them that may fit into your team. Now moving over onto the other side of the pitch with right mids, right wingers and right forwards, the cheap option I've gone with is Ousmane Dembele with his Champions League card that you can get for about 15 to 20k. I packed him as an untradeable towards the beginning of the game, and I've used him extensively, especially as a super sub. He's very quick, he's got good dribbling, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, and he's very, very agile. I've then gone with Mbappe as that mid-tier option at about 250k. You see a lot of pros using him. He does have an inform and also a Team of the Year card. He's got 5-star skills, amazing pace, and just all around an amazing card. And then the best option I've gone with, no pun intended, is George Best with his 93 rated Prime Icon version, which you can get for about 1.5 to 1.6 million coins by completing an SBC, or around 2 million coins off the market. He's the player I currently use in this position, and he is so, so good. I'd go with him if money were no object, or Team of the Year Mbappe if you can afford the, I think, 3.5 million coin price tag. You've also got Lionel Messi, who has a Team of the Group stage card in the same position. Moving a little bit lower down in price, you've got Salah and Gareth Bale, both of whom are really good options for the price, and dependent on your team, you could easily fit in. I use Bale as a super sub, and then even further down in price, I think Mahrez is a good option with 5-star skill moves. He's got a few informs as well that go up to about 200k. I think he's got 2 informs, and I did actually see quite a lot of pros using him at the beginning of the game because he's got amazing finesse shot. Finally, we've got the strikers, and the cheap option I've gone with is Gabriel Jesus, who you can pick up for around 4,000 or 5,000 coins right now, and for that kind of price you won't find a better option in this position. He's got really good pace and dribbling, good shooting, decent passing and physical as well, and 4-star skills and 4-star weak foot. Plus he's Brazilian and plays in the Premier League, so very easy to link into teams. Then as the mid-tier option I've gone with Ben Yedder's inform card, which you can pick up for around 100,000 coins, and for that kind of price he is amazing. I see a lot of people using him. I think he's the most used special card on this game. He's French and plays in La Liga as well, so it's very, very easy to link into pretty much any team. If you're on a budget, you could use someone like Ousmane Dembele or Promes. If you have a lot of coins, you've got the likes of Mbappe, you've got Pogba and Kante, even people like Messi as well, who can obviously link into him. He's got 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, and just a really nice, well-rounded card. You can play him as a cam or a striker, and he suits both those roles very well. And also has a road to the final card, which you can upgrade to for about 300k. I believe that's what he's going for. But I personally just go with the inform. It's a lot cheaper and pretty much as good. But then if money were no object, I'd go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Just his regular gold card here I think is the best non-icon or non-team of the year card in this position. As you would expect, he's got an amazing card and is always very, very good on FIFA. He is around 2 million coins, I think, maybe just below that, about 1.9. Amazingly good though, and I see a lot of people using him, starting off at centre mid, link him into Cancelo from Juventus, who gets the hyperlink, then using like an icon or something, and then moving him into the striker position in game. The very best option, I'd say, would be Team of the Year Ronaldo. He's the player all the pros seem to be using. And you've also obviously got R9 Ronaldo, who's very good. Eusebio is another good option. Stoichkov's great. You've got a lot of really good icons that I see different people using. But as a gold card, I'll probably go with Ronaldo. My favourite striker, I'm not including here because he is from an SBC, so he's untradeable, and I didn't want to include any cards like that in this video. But it is Flashback Ibrahimovic, who is insane and has very comparable, if not better, stats to Ronaldo. And he only costs about 150 or 200k, and he is insanely good. But obviously, as a flashback card, I'm not going to include him here because you won't be able to unlock him unless you already did the SBC when it was released. But anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. My 3 favourite players for 3 different prices on this game in each position. If you have any differing opinions, which I'm sure you probably do, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.